And as the Nigerian Senate continues the debate on the general principles of the 2020 budget, lawmakers again took turns to express their opinion on the 10.3 trillion estimate. Some senators who spoke during plenary attempted to proffer solutions to the country's economic challenges. Our correspondent, Folorunsho Adegoke, has details in his report.
This is day 2 of deliberations on the budget parameters. About 30 senators indicated interest to comment on the 2020 appropriation bill as presented by President Muhammadu Buhari. On diversifying the economy, Senator representing Osun Central, Surajuddin Bashiru, says this can only be achieved if the executive pays more attention to improving power supply in the country.
There's a need for us to think outside the box in terms of how do we generate revenue for our country. One good step that has been taken in the budget in this regard is the increment of the percentage for VAT. And the good thing about this is that it is done having in mind the need for us to be able to think in the way of progressive taxation. When we look at the way the finance bill that has been sent has been couched from the speech of Mr. President, the vulnerable people, the poor people in the society are being insulated from the effects of the increment of the VAT. Let the rich, the affluent, who can pay, let them pay for the development of our society.
Some lawmakers in their separate contributions say increase in all forms of taxation will do the economy no good.
I think the plan to increase VAT to 7.5% is clearly an instance of regressive taxation. If you look at item C, introducing tax incentives for investments in infrastructure and capital markets, this situation, for me, of increasing VAT is a shortcut to economic recovery. It smacks of intellectual laziness, and like all shortcuts, I don't think it will drive this country in the right and proper direction.
I would like to reflect on the 2019 budget, where only a paltry sum of 294.6 billion has been released for capital projects as at September 2019. Most worrisome is the fact that as at June in 2019, our budget was already in the budget expenditure for 2019 was already in deficit of 1.35 trillion. This deficit is what is delaying implementation of the capital budget. So, given the same indices that we are using in 2019 to raise revenue in 2020, it is really worrisome if we can meet our revenue targets.
Other senators who contributed to the debate commended the federal government for deciding to focus on completing abandoned projects instead of embarking on new ones.
The issue of the cost of governance can be addressed partly through drastic review of project cost in our procurement processes. Presently, the costs are outrageously scandalous, and this has to stop. I therefore urge this Senate to ensure that we take a look at our procurement cost, our project cost, on comparative basis vis-à-vis other countries.
The other issue is the Akanu International Airport. We have for over 43 days now. That airport has been closed. Mr. President, we are begging that in this year's budget, now that that place has closed, and that's the only major airport in the southeast, that the federal government should allocate money, since we are not doing new projects, ensure that that airport is done for us.
Debate on the 2020 budget is expected to end on Tuesday next week in order to enable committees meet with various ministries, departments, and agencies for the defense of the estimates. Folorunsho Adegoke, Core TV News, Abuja.